He mopped floors in silence, ignored by everyone until the day the CEO heard him speak flawless Mandarin. What started as a moment of curiosity would unravel a global scandal, a buried identity, and a truth powerful enough to bring billion-dollar empires to their knees. At precisely 6:45 a.m. every weekday, Carlos Mendez arrived at the Langtech Global Headquarters in downtown Chicago, pushing his weathered janitorial cart through the gleaming glass doors with a silent grace that made him nearly invisible to the suits buzzing around him. His brown uniform, embroidered with a faded facility staff patch, was so familiar that people often passed by without a second glance, unaware that the man behind the mop had once been a linguistic prodigy in another life. But life had its cruel twists, and for reasons hidden behind tired eyes and a lifetime of hardship, Carlos now cleaned floors instead of giving lectures at conferences or decoding ancient dialects for international agencies. And so, he swept and he scrubbed, always with a quiet smile, always listening, absorbing the world around him like a sponge. Until one unexpected morning, the routine shattered like a dropped glass on marble tiles, and the CEO himself, Victor Langston, the sharp-suited, sharp-tongued founder of the company, overheard something that stopped him dead in his tracks. Victor had arrived early for a surprise internal audit, walking through the 10th floor with his executive assistant Lexi, whispering in rapid-fire Mandarin about the inefficiencies of the Asian division, unaware that Carlos, bent low by a water cooler, was right there, seemingly oblivious, until he stood up and politely asked in flawless Mandarin if Mr. Langston would prefer to schedule the audit after the Lunar New Year due to cultural sensitivities. And the hallway went still. Lexi's jaw dropped. Victor blinked, stunned not only by the words but by the accent. It was perfect, native level, not something picked up from a textbook or app. And Victor, ever the pragmatist but also a man who admired the extraordinary, leaned in and asked Carlos how many languages he spoke, to which Carlos hesitantly replied, 9, fluently. And when Victor asked for a demonstration, Carlos obliged, switching from Mandarin to French, then to Russian, Arabic, Hindi, Swahili, Portuguese, Japanese, and finally German, delivering the same sentence. The human spirit, no matter where it is born, speaks in the same voice, in each tongue, each accent precise, each tone authentic. And by the end of it, Victor was speechless. The man who had negotiated billion-dollar contracts now staring at a janitor, as if he were a time traveler from another dimension. And while others might have dismissed it as a strange coincidence or an impressive party trick, Victor saw something more. He saw opportunity, and within an hour, Carlos was in the executive boardroom, surrounded by skeptical department heads who had never seen the CEO so animated. And as they stared at the janitor standing in the room like a misplaced chess piece, Victor introduced him as their new linguistic consultant, a title made up on the spot. And when someone snickered, Carlos was asked to translate a live stream call with a Japanese investor that had been going badly for weeks due to communication gaps. And in real time, Carlos transformed the interaction, switching effortlessly between corporate Japanese and nuanced American English, smoothing over cultural tension, interpreting not just words but intent. And by the end of the call, the Japanese partner had agreed to not only resume talks, but expand the scope of the deal, prompting Victor to clap his hands and declare, "Ladies and gentlemen, meet the man who just saved us $10 million. And from that moment, Carlos's days of pushing a mop were over, or so it seemed. For with opportunity came exposure, and with exposure came questions. And as Carlos was ushered into a new life, with a polished desk, a nameplate, and a laptop, whispers began swirling through the building. Who was this man, really? How did a janitor end up with near-native fluency in 9 languages? Was he self-taught or something more? Lexi, always meticulous, began a quiet investigation, not out of malice, but curiosity, in what she found in the fragments of his past. Old academic papers, a defunct university profile, a thesis on sociolinguistics from a prestigious European school, painted a picture far more complex than anyone could imagine. A story of betrayal, exile, and tragedy buried beneath layers of humility. And as Victor prepared to fly Carlos with him to a global tech summit in Geneva, where he planned to unveil him as a symbol of Langtech's new direction: human-centric, multicultural, inclusive. He had no idea that Carlos's past was about to catch up with him in the most explosive way, because someone from that past had seen the viral video of Carlos translating in the boardroom, and that someone was coming to Langtech, not for recognition, but for revenge, setting the stage for a confrontation that would shake the foundation of the entire company and test whether the human spirit Carlos so eloquently spoke of could survive the weight of buried secrets, broken trust, and the hunger for redemption. Carlos Mendez stood before the Langtech global private jet with a fresh suit stitched by the company tailor, a slick Langtech badge clipped to his pocket, and a passport in hand that hadn't been opened in over 15 years, his fingers trembling slightly as he boarded the aircraft beside CEO Victor Langston and executive assistant Lexi, who had begun looking at Carlos not as a janitor reborn, but as a puzzle missing pieces that didn't quite add up. And though the hum of jet engines and the luxury of leather seats surrounded him, Carlos's mind was not on Geneva or the summit ahead, but on the email he had received from an untraceable address the night before, a message that read simply, "They will know who you are in Switzerland. I'll be watching." And though he had told no one, not even Victor, about the message, his heartbeat betrayed him as he stared out the window, seeing not clouds but memories of lecture halls in Berlin, of coded conversations in Beirut, of a woman's tear-streaked face disappearing behind a closing door in a life he had buried, or tried to bury, under years of bleach and mop water. Yet now that life was crawling back like smoke through a cracked window, and Geneva was the fire where it all began, and perhaps would end, because 15 years ago, Carlos Mendez had not been a janitor, but Dr. Carlos Alvarez Mendez, one of the top linguists for Interlingua, a secret European think tank that specialized in deciphering intercepted communications, tracking threats through dialect patterns, and building linguistic AI for intelligence agencies. But a leak, a betrayal, had burned the project and branded Carlos as a scapegoat for the exposure of confidential data that led to the death of two operatives in Istanbul. He had vanished before he could be detained, assumed dead, and rebuilt his life in anonymity, choosing a mop over a microphone, a janitor's closet over a spotlight, until now when a CEO's curiosity and a viral video shattered the silence. And as the jet landed on Swiss soil and cameras flashed, Victor beamed at the press, calling Carlos the embodiment of hidden genius in the most unlikely places. While Carlos shook hands with diplomats and executives, his smile practiced, his eyes scanning for danger. And it wasn't long before it arrived, dressed in a suit and a cold smile, in the form of a man named Adrian Leclerc, a representative from LinguaQuant, Langtech's biggest European rival, who approached Carlos during a tech panel break with a glass of wine and a whisper in French that sliced through the noise like a blade. "I see you've returned from the grave, old friend. Shall we tell them what really happened in Istanbul?" And Carlos's blood ran cold, the wine in his glass trembling as he looked into the eyes of the very man who had sold out Interlingua for profit and framed Carlos to cover his tracks. And now Adrian stood before him as if nothing had changed, except now the stakes were different. Carlos was no longer a ghost but the face of a global campaign, a brand ambassador for truth, diversity, and brilliance. And Adrian knew that destroying him now would not just eliminate a threat, but humiliate Langtech. And Victor, who had staked his next billion-dollar valuation on Carlos's story, would be ruined. And so Carlos did something he hadn't done in 15 years. He fought back, not with fists or fury, but with language, with strategy, calling in an old favor from a journalist he once helped decode a genocide threat in Rwanda, planting just enough bait that whispers of Interlingua's betrayal and Adrian's involvement began circulating in backstage green rooms in discreet digital forms, and all while Victor remained blissfully unaware, preparing to unveil Carlos on the summit's main stage as the voice of tomorrow. But as the lights dimmed and Carlos stepped onto the stage, applause swelling, a security alert flashed across Lexi's phone, pulling her eyes from the speech just in time to see a second alert from Swiss authorities. Former Interlingua agent believed to be alive. Possible appearance at Langtech Summit. Suspect is dangerous. and Lexi's heart dropped as she connected the dots, realizing the man she had begun to trust was not just a mystery, but a fugitive. And she rushed to the backstage area only to find it empty. Carlos's speech notes still on the podium, his voice still echoing from the live feed. But Carlos himself gone, vanished once more like a whisper in a crowded room, leaving behind confusion, questions, and a stunned CEO standing before thousands, his golden revelation now a ghost story. But as the summit descended into chaos and Victor barked orders to find Carlos, Lexi noticed one thing: a USB drive taped under the podium, labeled only with a single word, truth. And she knew then that whatever Carlos had run from was not just personal, but dangerous. That this story was far from over, and the real shock was yet to come. For as she plugged in the drive and watched the screen fill with encrypted files, recordings, and documents implicating global tech companies in covert data mining through AI translation apps, the janitor's true legacy began to unfold. Not as a humble genius, but as a whistleblower with the power to burn empires to the ground. The USB drive pulsed faintly in Lexi's trembling hand as the screen of her encrypted Langtech laptop flickered to life in the silent hotel suite overlooking Lake Geneva. And as the files began to unpack one by one, revealing folders labeled with code names, email archives, voice recordings, and classified communications between high-ranking executives and foreign contractors, Lexi realized she was holding something far beyond what corporate PR could spin: a digital reckoning that could ignite investigations on 3 continents and shatter reputations in boardrooms from New York to Berlin. And her thoughts raced as she read through a document marked Project Echotongue, a blueprint detailing how several top language tech firms, including Langtech's fiercest rival LinguaQuant, and even Langtech itself under former leadership, had partnered with intelligence agencies to harvest user voice data from translation apps, using subtle manipulations to train surveillance AIs capable of not only interpreting words, but detecting intent, emotion, even subtext, a tool that had allegedly already been used to identify dissidents in unstable regimes, some of whom had mysteriously vanished. And as her eyes scanned Carlos's notes embedded in the metadata, she saw annotations in 9 languages cross-referencing dates and audio cues, his linguistic genius now weaponized as a compass, pointing straight into the heart of darkness. He hadn't just vanished to escape Adrian Leclerc or bury his past. He had been running from the weight of this truth, protecting it until the world was ready or until someone like Victor gave him the platform to finally release it. And yet now he was gone, disappeared into Geneva's labyrinthine streets while panic spread across Langtech's internal channels. Victor pacing in his penthouse suite under 24-hour security, press conferences canceled, stock prices dipping, and whispers flying faster than emails. But Lexi, driven by a loyalty that had evolved from professional duty to personal admiration, refused to let Carlos's sacrifice be wasted, and she began downloading and backing up the files, sending encrypted fragments to a handful of trusted journalists, including the same international correspondent Carlos had once saved in Rwanda, a woman named Muna Al-Khatib, who responded within minutes. "We've been waiting for this. Proceed with caution." And together they began to form a plan, a coordinated media release that would expose the global surveillance scandal in a precise cascade, releasing proof in stages across time zones to prevent silencing, while Lexi herself prepared for the inevitable fallout, drafting an internal resignation letter even as she forwarded the most damning piece of evidence directly to Victor, who upon opening it sat still for a full 5 minutes, face pale, lips thin, and then whispered, "He gave me the spotlight so I'd be forced to look." And in that moment, the billionaire's CEO, who had spent decades mastering image, influence, and innovation, understood that Carlos had chosen him not for admiration, but because Victor had the reach and moral compass to do the one thing Carlos himself could not: make the truth inescapable, undeniable, and global. And just as Victor summoned his lawyers and PR teams, preparing to dismantle and rebuild the empire on the foundation of transparency, a hotel concierge knocked on Lexi's door with a sealed envelope left behind at the front desk under her name, and inside was a small photograph. Carlos standing at a language school in Morocco with a group of refugee children smiling behind him. Then on the back, a handwritten note in Spanish. True language is found in listening. I'm finally going home. See, and tears welled in Lexi's eyes as she realized Carlos had done it. He had spoken his truth, preserved his soul, and left the world with a final act of courage that no boardroom, no scandal, no smear campaign could erase. And 2 days later, as news outlets erupted with the revelations, investigations were launched. Adrian Leclerc was detained at a private airstrip attempting to flee with falsified documents, and Langtech's official website replaced its homepage with a full transcription of Carlos's 9-language speech from the summit, now titled The Voice Within Us All, accompanied by a new mission statement emphasizing ethical tech, transparency, and human dignity. And Victor, at the first press conference post-scandal, introduced Lexi as Langtech's new chief ethics officer, crediting Carlos for showing us that brilliance without conscience is nothing. And as cameras flashed and questions flew, somewhere across the Atlantic in a quiet village in Ecuador, a man in plain clothes taught children how to say peace in different languages, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth as he watched them laugh, unaware that their teacher had once stood at the center of a storm and changed the world by simply being brave enough to speak.